Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, it might seem a little snarky, but we're kind of doing a little bit of comparison between Thai and American immigration systems, and I'm kind of posing the question, are we looking at the triumph of bureaucracy here? And the reason I ask this is here recently I have seen a number of, in my opinion, rather frivolous rejections where we've attempted to file a case, it's been rejected for, in my opinion, very, very frivolous reasons, and then we've refiled and it's processed through. I've also seen cases involving the issuance of requests for evidence, which in my opinion could only really be described as frivolous. I mean, things that are so minute with respect, it begs the question of if they're even relevant in some of these situations. But setting all of that aside, on the other side of this, we've dealt a lot more in the Thai system with the creation of this so-called Thailand Pass, which can only be compared to what's called ESTA, the Electronic System for Travel Authorization in the United States. And quite frankly, the Thailand Pass, in my opinion, is having a massively detrimental impact on the tourism sector here in Thailand, as did the ESTA system. People don't really remember the implementation of the implementation of a much more strict scrutiny standard associated with Section 214B of the Immigration Nationality Act in the United States pertaining to tourist visas resulted in a far lower number of folks getting tourist visas to the United States and being able to go there for tourism purposes. Simultaneously, the creation of ESTA created a lot of roadblocks for even people who were wanting to go into the United States on the visa waiver program, which begs the question, how many tourist dollars were lost there? And in comparison, Thailand, which, you know, before this whole thing broke out, going back before March of 2020, you know, the Thai GDP, 18% of it was made up by tourism revenue. And as we've discussed in other videos, we were looking in January of 2022, that number was down to more like 1.8% of overall GDP. That's massive. It was decimated in a sense. And I think, honestly, even though restrictions are being pulled back here in Thailand, having the Thailand Pass remain still puts a drag on tourism numbers. People are just not wanting to jump through all those hoops and deal with all of that in order to get into Thailand. So all of this just kind of leads me to ask, are we just leaving bureaucracy in charge of policy at this point? Or has process become the policy? I don't know the answer to that. It seems to me that that's the case. Now that said, I mean, it is possible to navigate through this, albeit in a much more circuitous manner and in a much more Byzantine way than it was in the past. That said, it is possible to wade through all of this. Hopefully things will emerge better toward the end of this year. Remains to be seen. We'll certainly keep you updated on this channel as the situation evolves.